All right, welcome back to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped to dive into this with you guys because we're looking at what is arguably one of the most fascinating unsolved puzzles in modern science. I want you to literally cast your mind back for a second to the summer of 1977. Picture it. It was this era of immense discovery, but then, out of the sheer darkness of space, something incredibly strange emerged. A signal. It was brief, it was massively powerful, and it was entirely unexplained. And here we are nearly 50 years later, and the truth is, nobody truly knows where it came from. So settle in, because we're going to unpack exactly what happened during those fateful moments and why it might just mean we aren't quite as alone as we think we are. So to really get why this was such a huge deal, we have to remember the mindset back then. Are we alone? That was the ultimate question driving the scientific community. NASA missions were pushing deeper into the cosmos than ever before. Humanity was stretching its reach, And because of this rapid expansion in our understanding, a lot of brilliant astronomers genuinely believed that intelligent life might already exist out there among the stars. That burning curiosity was the entire driving force behind the technology we're about to look at. Chapter 1. A Voice in the Dark. This whole cosmic detective story actually kicks off nowhere near a big city. We're talking a super quiet remote observatory out in Ohio. And there was a really clear distinction in how we explored the sky back then. While your ordinary optical telescopes looked for stars and planets, the massive Big Ear radio telescope didn't look, it listened. It just swept the heavens day and night, specifically searching for unusual cosmic radio signals. Which brings us to Part 2, the discovery of 6EQUJ5. Now, normally, the signals detected by Big Ear were just your totally ordinary background static. But on the night of August 15th, 1977, astronomer Jerry Eyman was going through these long computer printouts, and everything changed. This specific sequence caught his eye, 6EQUJ5. Now, to most of us, that looks like a cat walked across a keyboard, right? But to astronomers reading this data, it was absolutely shocking. And here's why. That specific sequence of numbers and letters meant they had just caught a sudden, massive burst of radio energy. How massive? We are talking nearly 30 times stronger than the normal background noise of space. 30 times. In the absolute quiet static of the universe, this was basically a booming roar. It was unlike absolutely anything the observatory had ever recorded before. Jerry Eyman is looking at this data, and he instantly realizes just how massive this is. He literally grabs a red pen, circles that strange sequence right there on the printout, and in the margin he writes a single word: wow. And honestly, that perfectly captures how genuinely stunned he was. From that exact moment on, this incredible anomaly officially became known to history as the wow signal. Part 3. A perfectly placed frequency. Okay, so here's where it gets really crazy. The immense strength of the signal was just the beginning. The signal actually matched something known in physics as the hydrogen line. This is a very specific radio frequency directly connected to hydrogen, which is literally the single most common element in the entire universe. So the thinking goes, if an advanced civilization wanted to broadcast a hello across space, this is exactly the universal channel they would use. And it wasn't just the frequency. The data proved the signal behaved exactly, and I mean exactly, like a transmission originating from deep space. Scientists completely ruled out local interference. It wasn't a bounce back from some classified earthly military tech, and it wasn't a random passing satellite. It was definitively coming from off-world. They even managed to trace its apparent origin. The transmission appeared to be coming right from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. So, deep within our own galaxy, in this incredibly dense, star-filled region, for one brief moment, something fired a powerful signal directly toward Earth. Chapter 4. The 72-second limit. But here is the most agonizing part of the whole story. Just as the scientific community was trying to grasp what on earth they were hearing, they hit a brick wall. 72 seconds. That's it. That is the entire window this incredible signal lasted. It swept across the Big Ear sensors, peaked in intensity, and then just vanished completely. The universe basically hung up the phone and went completely silent again. You can imagine the scramble. Scientists desperately tried to relocate the anomaly, continuously pointing powerful telescopes right back at that exact spot in Sagittarius. But it was completely futile. The signal didn't return the next day. It didn't return the next year. And as we know decades later, it quite literally never happened again. They watched, they waited, but nothing.
Which leads us to part 5, theories and lingering mysteries.
Over the years, as news spread and our technology improved without the signal returning, researchers had to get a bit creative. A lot of logical explanations were proposed. Some thought maybe it was a highly classified military transmission spoofing a deep space signature. Others suspected it was just some unknown natural cosmic phenomenon, or maybe even a cloud of gas from passing comets that just happened to mimic that hydrogen line frequency. But despite all those theories, a lot of experts remain completely unconvinced. And the reason is simple. It was just way too precise. The signal was too clean, too powerful, and way too perfectly tuned to that specific frequency to easily dismiss as a random cosmic coincidence or a rogue comet. Even as we've built far more powerful telescopes and scanned deeper into the void, we have never detected anything quite like it again. The precision of the WOW signal stands entirely alone. So what does this all actually mean? Even today, scientists are still debating what truly happened that August night. Some insist there absolutely has to be a logical, natural explanation. But others quietly wonder if we briefly intercepted something truly extraordinary. A transmission from another civilization? A distant voice crossing the immense emptiness between the stars? It's kind of a haunting thought, isn't it? That maybe it was just a random burst of energy? Or maybe, for just 72 seconds, humanity overheard something it was never supposed to hear. A quick whisper from the darkness, right before it disappeared forever. Thank you guys so much for joining me for today's explainer. It's definitely a mystery that's going to keep you looking up at the night sky for sure.